श्री राम कहे हनुमाना, सुनो बचन कहो परमाना, सुनो बचन कहो परमाना। श्री राम कहे हनुमाना, श्री राम कहे हनुमाना, सुनो बचन कहो परमाना, सुनो बचन कहो परमाना। श्री राम कहे हनुमाना। बोलिए पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति। भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति। संग में आए रिद्धि सिद्धि। संघ में आए रिद्धि सिद्धि। भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति। भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति।
प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय। जय जय सीताराम सबको नमस्ते सत श्री अकाल जय गुरुदत्ता Om Sai Ram and a very pleasant welcome to each and every one of you this evening. We are about to begin kathaa, but I thank all the bhajanavalis and all the musicians for glorifying us with their beautiful voices and their beautiful talents. This evening as we begin kathaa, we will have some time at the end where we will have additional bhajans. Those who have not offered a bhajan will be given an opportunity then. Let us sit upright in the meantime as we come before Bhagwan this evening to begin this, our second session of Shri Ramayan Yagya here at the beautiful Sudama Mandir in Queens, New York. We sit upright, clasp your hands and bow your heads, close your eyes, devotees. As we breathe in, we say so. As we exhale, we say hum. Drop your shoulders and relax. The only thoughts that should be in your minds right now are those of Bhagwan Shri Ganesha in his beautiful form, elephant tusk, darling son of Mother Parvati and Bhagwan Shiva Shankar. As we glorify him, as we begin this evening's pravachan. Breathe in, breathe out and relax. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Shri Ganeshaya Namah, Shri Saraswati Namah, Shri Guru Charana Kamale Namo Namah. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. O Jagadambe Ma, Bhavani Shankar Ma, your children are seated before you, Ma. Tonight, we seek thy blessings, O Durga. Sarva Mangal Mangalye, Shive Sarvartha Sadhike, Sharanye Trambake Gauri, Narayani Namostute. We sit at the feet of Mount Kailash, looking up at Bholenath as he gives us his blessings. Karapura Gauram, Karunavataram, Samsara Saram, Bhujagendraharam, Sada Vasantam, Hridayarvinde, Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. To the feet now of Pavanaputra Hanumanji. Atulit Palyadhamam Hema Shailabadeham Tanujamana Krishanum Jnaninam Akranyam Sakala Guna Nidhanam Vanaranam Adhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vajajatam Namami. Baki Vrindavan mein Hari Lal, Mohan Muralya Ghanshyam, Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chahur Mardanam, देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमस्य धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधुं विनाशाय च दुष्कृतं धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे। हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। प्रेम से बोलो कि वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Goswami Tulsidas Ji writes in the very first chapter of Ramayan, Shri Ramacharitamanus Bahakanda, this beautiful composition, this prayer called Mangalashtakam, as he glorifies Bhagwan Sri Ganesha, Mother Vani, the goddess of speech, Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, and of course the sage Valmiki, the original author of Ramayan. We chant now Goswami Tulsidas Ji ne kaha Mangalashtakam. Varnanam arthasandhanam rasanam chandasam api mangalanam च कर्तारो वन्दे वाणी विनामृतो भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थम् ईश्वरं वन्दे बोधमयमेत्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणो यामाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्रः सर्वत वन्दते सीताराम गुणग्राम पुण्यामरण्यभृवाहृणो वन्दे विशुद्ध विज्ञानो कवीश्वर कपीश्वरो। प्रेम से बोलो भगवान रामचंद्र की जय। My dear brothers and sisters, let us now glorify Bhagwan Sri Ganesha. O Lord Ganesha, the bhajan tells us, we bow in reverence to you tonight in absolute purity of the name of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. To the elephant-faced Lord Ganesha, we constantly remember the purifying name. Remember this Lord Ganesha. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vighno Upashantaye Sarva Vighno Upashantaye Ganesha Sharanam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam Ganesha Sharanam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam Nitya Smaranam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam Nitya Smaranam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam Satya प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय. Om Gam Ganapataye Namah. This evening, I say Swagatam to each and everyone here at this beautiful Sudama Mandir. And to those joining us tonight virtually on Bhakti TV, Pranam, Sitaramji, my dear brother Pandit Satyanand Maharajji, broadcasting all over the world this evening. And those joining on social media as well, I thank you. My dear mothers, fathers, Pandits, Panditas, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties, nieces and nephews, friends, children, godchildren, grandchildren, all of you, I say Swagatam. Blessed are we to be tonight amongst each other in this beautiful satsanga. Tonight, for those of us who were here last night, we will continue on this journey of bhakti, this journey of truth, satyam, and certainly as we delve into the holy scriptures, the sweet pages of Shri Ramcharitamanas, composed by Goswami Tulsidas-ji. As we did last night, let us begin, today being Saturday, glorifying Pavanaputta Hanumanji, Mahavir Swami, as we sing the 40 glorious verses of Shri Hanuman Chalisa. Goswami Tulsidas-ji, one writer says, he had 40 steps to climb in the morning to go to his temple to perform puja. And every time he climbed one rung of that step, he would sing, Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar, Jai Kapi Siddhi Goloka, and he went on like this, composing the 40 glorious verses. There are many, many iterations of this kathaa, but tonight, I want you to feel the energy like we did last night. Pawanput, we had beautiful puja, Didi. Rajpati Didi performed beautiful puja this evening. The presence of Mahavir Swami. Many of you that I have spoken to over the last few days said to me, Baba, I've got these things going on in my life, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, and so forth. This Hanuman Chalisa is perhaps the most potent form of spiritual medication there is. And if you need examples, if you need experience, come see me after the kathaa. I will explain to you the glories and how Hanuman Chalisa can help you in this day of Kali, in this time of Kali. Hanumanji is with us as we learn tonight in his kathaa. Let us glorify him now to sing beautifully 40 verses of Shri Hanuman Chalisa. Sri Guru Charan Saroj Raju Nij Man Mukul Sudhar Barno Raghubar Vimal Jasu Jodayak Bhal Chari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavanamai Bal Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Arahu Kale Before we start Chalisa, Bhagwan Baba tells us, musical instruments are pretty expensive, not so bad, very expensive. Bhagwan has given each and every single one of us, in most cases, 2 free musical instruments. You know what they are? And how do they work? You don't need a manual for that, right? Like this. So, in order to feel the Shakti and the energy of the Shri Hanuman Chalisa tonight, apart from singing to the top of your voices, I want you to clap. Let us shake this mandir, not break it down. Shake this mandir tonight with Shakti. Prem se bolo Pavanaputra Hanuman ki! Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar, Jai Kapi Siddhi Goloka Ujar, Rama Dutta Balrama, Anjani Putta Pavan Satyanam, Mahavir Vikram Vikram, Nitya Sukhe Sangi, Anjana Varna Viraj Suresh, Prana Kundala Krishna, Vajra Viraj, Anje Mujjane Gosani, Shankara Suvan Keshari Nanda, Eka Pratap Mahajagavanna, Vinyavan Guni Yakata, Anakadi Karime Kovati, Nabhudhar Krishnive Gorasya, Ram Lakshmi Sita Navasya, Ram Lakshmana Janaki, Jai Just by the looks on your faces, I know you are experiencing this bliss, this energy of Mahavir Swami, Pavanaputra Hanumanji. Whatever problems, whatever trials, tribulations that you are experiencing in life today, place it to the feet of Hanumanji. Just like last night we connected a yellow ribbon to the feet of the Divine Mother and pinned it to our hearts. What color do you think we should use tonight? You're all real good. Let's take a red ribbon out, imaginary, virtual. Place it to the feet of Hanumanji now and connect it back to your hearts. And feel that energy. Feel the positive vibrations emanating out. You remember in Ramayan, we spoke a little bit about this last night. When after the war was won, and everyone was receiving rewards, accolades and so forth, for their part in helping Lord Rama to win this war, Hanumanji stood very quietly. Mother Sita says, you know my son, come let me give you something. I'm going to give you the royal necklace, a necklace made with pearls, priceless in terms of dollars. Hanumanji said, Mom, what am I going to do with it? She said, no, this is the royal necklace, I want you to take it. So he looked, you know the story very well, he looked at the necklace, he looked at it, he bit it, he smelled it, he took a closer look at it, and he broke the necklace, all the beads fall on her and says, this is useless. So everybody in the court was, all the ministers and all these fellas, they were upset. Hey, Chanchal Vanar, silly, they call him a monkey, don't call my lord a monkey. Eh? Silly monkey, what are you doing? That is a priceless necklace. And he looked at all of them and says, He says, I looked at this, every single one of these pearls, and I could not see my Lord. And they chastised and they laughed at him, they made fun of him. And what did he do after that? You know the story well. What did he do? Open his chest. And what did they see inside his chest, devotees? Yes. The bhajan tells us that. चीर के छाती बोले अपनी चीर के छाती बोले अपनी ओ बोल पवन पुत्र हनुमान ओ बोल पवन पुत्र हनुमान ओ मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे जय श्री राम मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे है राम चीर के छाती बोले अपनी हो चीर के छाती बोले अपनी पवन पुत्र हनुमान पवन पुत्र हनुमान मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे है राम मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे है राम सीता हरण किया रावण ने प्रभु जी ने बुलाए हनुमान ने सीता जी को प्रभु संदेश सुनाए हनुमान के करके आए हनुमान जी करके आए प्रभु जी के गुणगान पवन पुत्र हनुमान बोलो पवन पुत्र जय श्री राम ओ मेरे मन में बसे है राम मेरे तन में बसे है राम मेरे मन में बसे है राम ओ मेरे तन में बसे है राम लगी लक्ष्मण जी को शक्ति देख प्रभु घबराए मोर के पहले हनुमान जी दौड़ागिरी ले आए उठ बैठे लक्ष्मण जी लेकर शंख झपकते हनुमान हुए लंका में आग लगाए। बोले प्रभु के साथ मिटाकर, बोले प्रभु के साथ मिटाकर रावण का अभिमान। ओ बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान, ओ बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। चीर के छाती बोले अपनी, हो चीर के छाती बोले अपनी, पवन पुत्र हनुमान, पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। प्रेम से बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की। Kajal ji, this monitor is on it. I felt like we just lost all the power we had earlier. Acha. Okay, no worries, no worries. We'll abide by the rules. My dear brothers and sisters, the atmosphere is right. Can you feel it? You feel the Shakti this evening? It is because of all of us, every single one of us here, and those of you online as well, contributing and energizing. And this is what we spoke about last night, unity. When we are united, we can literally take down mountains. And Hanumanji is a mastermind of unity, because he was responsible for uniting the armies of Sugriv, Jamwant and so forth, prepare for this battle of Lanka tonight. Again, I want you to use your free musical instruments to clap, to sing the song Tulsidasi now as we begin kathaa tonight. Another prayer written by him, composed by Goswamiji, glorifying Bhagwan Shri Ganesha and the sage Valmiki. Ramayan Sumirat, Jo Sumirat Siddho, Gananayak Karivadabadan. Jo Sumirat Siddho, Gananayak Karivadabadan. Jo Sumirat Siddho, Gananayak Karivadabadan. Karahu कृपा मरदन मयना मन्नो गुरु पद कृपा सिंधु नरूप हरि महामोह तमको जासुवचन रवि करनी करा जो सुमिरत सिद्ध हो गणनायक परिवार बना। मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम भगवान रामचंद्र की जय। रामायण वंदना। ध्येयं सदा परिभवानमभीष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं स्युविरञ्जनुतं स्मरण्यं प्रेत्यातिहं प्रणतपाल भवामि बोधं वन्दे महापुरुषते शरणारविन्दम् नीलाम्बुजं श्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितभावं पाणो महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। रामायण कथा लंका और उत्तरकांड, हनुमान बाबा और माता जानकी का संवाद। नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि। प्रेम से बोलो भगवान रामचंद्र की जय। प्रेमर सज्जनों, भाइयों बहनों, स्वागतम। Our katha tonight takes us to the city of Lanka. Allow me to paint a picture of where we are going tonight. The Great War has been won. Jai Shri Ram. Lord Rama was victorious, as we know. And he was about now to return with Mother Sita and the whole entire entourage, the army, back to the city of Ayodhya. This was a most auspicious moment in the Ramayana, as Lord Rama, the ocean of bliss, as we discussed last night, ocean of peace, was about to depart Lanka back to Ayodhya. The more devotees, all it was a very celebratory one. It was a bit somber, a bit sad, because several of the Vanas, the celestial beings, they did not want to go back to their homes. You know why? Think about it this way. If Lord Rama were to walk out of that murti tonight and walk down this aisle, how many of you will sit here and listen to me? I wouldn't sit here. I'm going. I want my Lord. I want to grab His feet. I want to seek His blessings. Devotees, Goswami Tulsidas Ji perfectly creates the scene for us tonight in this opening doha. Prabhu prerita kapi bhalu. What is bhalu? The bears and the monkeys, the celestial banners. Sab Rama Rupa Purulakhi. Harasa Visar Sahita Chale Baneya Vividha Vibhasi. The bears and the banners, they were overpowered with emotions. You know, in singing this doha tonight, you could feel the emotions. They saw what was in the mind of the Lord. Devotees, what was in the mind of the Lord? The banners, they sang a cappella. Jai Raghunandan Jai Siya Ram Man se jap le tu Sita Ram Jai Raghunandan Jai Siya Ram Man se jap le tu Sita Jai Raghunandan Jai Siya Ram Jai Raghunandan Jai Siya Ram Man se jap le tu Sita Ram He Ram He Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Devotees, they were overcome with emotions. But Lord Rama was reluctant to take them back to Ayodhya because they had no inclination to return. They only wanted to go with Lord Rama. Although they were reluctant in an obedience to the Lord's command, the banners and the bears, the monkeys and the bears, they decided to disperse. With a mixed feeling of joy and sorrow, Lord Rama's image was instilled in their hearts, devotees. Goswami Tulsidas, he puts pen to paper again as he narrates now what is about to happen as the entourage leaves Lanka. Our first chaupai begins tonight. Goswami Tulsidas ji ne kaha, Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Saguna hohi sundar Goswami Tulsidas Ji, his description of what is going to happen now. The Pushpak Divan, or the aerial guy, says, Saguna hoi sundar chahu pasa mana prasanna nir malna bhasa kaha raghuveer dekhuran Sita Lakshman iha hetu Indrajita. The aerial car rose from the ground. Jai Shri Ram. You see the devotees. When people, the translation of Ramayan, way back thousands of years ago in Ramraj, there were aerial cars. What are aerial cars? Not a magic flying carpet, you know. Spaceships, exactly. Technology, Vedic science is still today. NASA is now trying to find these things out. Missiles, during the war, there were missiles that were launched. Powerful weapons, nothing that we have seen in this day and age yet. God forbid, I hope we don't see them. There's enough terror in this world today. Devotees, Devanas, in hordes now. They raise thunderous shouts in victory. What were they chanting? You all are very quiet tonight. Come on, 3 times. Jai Shri Ram. Let me hear you. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. You see, the next time you have a pain in your foot or a headache, maybe an upset stomach. Yes, son. Jai Shri Ram. You see, he knows 3 times. And you see all that pain gone like that. Or Jai Shri Hanuman. Trust me, it works. When you chant it, don't think about the pain. Think about God. Everything gone. Everything is gone. Devotees, it was like a celebration. This aerial car now, decorated with beautiful flowers. Goswami Tulsidas uses the word Sundaram. What is the meaning of Sundaram? Beautiful. Sudama Mandir, Ati Sundaram. This throne now, there was a throne on the aerial car that was carved by the celestial architect. Lord Rama and Sita took their seat now on this. And they all appeared to everyone as a rising cloud as the chariot climbed into the space. Then Lord Rama drew Mother Sita's attention to the battlefield below. He said, Sita, there is where Lakshmana iha hetu Indrajita. Who is Indrajita? Indrajit, Ravan's son, Meghnad. And he said, this is where Lakshman killed or destroyed Meghnad. He showed her other spots and other associated victories on the way now as the aerial car was coming across the ocean. He even showed them the bridge that was built that NASA just discovered a few years ago and posted a picture up on their website. This bridge is still there today. Those of us who have been to India, we've seen this. The bridge is still there today. Devotees, very soon now, the aerial car, the chariot reached the Dandak forest. This is the forest where they were exiled for 14 years. Lord Rama now had the vehicle stop before the hermitages of Agastya Muni and other sages. Why? Not just to say, drive by and say, okay boy, thanks for your help. Go up the road. No. Our Lord is not like that. Most gracious Ram, most merciful. He stopped to pay his respects, his homage, to seek their blessings. To seek their blessings and give thanks for the advice that they have given him. When he went to find Mother Sita, devotees, Lord Rama visited now all of these holy sages and paid reverential homage to all of them. After bowing Dandavat, taking leave now, they ascended the aerial chariot once again, the Pushpak Viman, and traveled all the way up now to Chitrakoot, the Chitrakoot hill. There too he offered prostrations to the sages, and soaring into the sky again, he showed Sita Mata, the beautiful city of Kiskinda. Even now when the aerial chariot was speeding fast, Rama indicated to her, Ye hai Ganga, ye hai Saraswati, ye hai Godavari, ye hai Yamuna. He showed her all the sacred rivers. And Mother Sita in her mind now paid homage. Om Gangescha Yamuna Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalashmini Guru. She paid homage in her mind to all of these holy rivers. And soon they saw the beautiful pilgrimage site, the holy site called Prayaga, Trivedi Sangam, where the 3 rivers meet. And they flow into the Ganga. From that position now, they could get a glimpse now into the splendorous city of Ayodhya. It's not that far from there, Ayodhya. The chief of the Nishad tribe, who was the chief of the Nishad tribe? What was his name? Kewat, Guha. Kevat now, he was yearning to touch the feet of Lord Rama. Now, if you remember, back in Ayodhya chapter 2 in Ramayana, when Lord Rama was crossing the river, Mother Sita, Rama and Lakshman crossed the river. Kevat, the boatman, crossed them across the river when Mother Sita was going to give him a beautiful jewelry, a ring, a very precious ring. He said, no, I don't want anything, no jewelry. I only want a promise that when you're coming back, when you have completed your 14 years and you're coming back now to Ayodhya, that I be allowed to cross you over that river. Let us take a minute and talk about this river tonight, this Ganga. That river symbolizes the ocean of earthly existence. You alright? Jai Shri Ram. Om Shanti. That river symbolizes the ocean of earthly existence. Guha, the boatman, is a charioteer to take us across this ocean. And who is he taking across? Lord Rama, Mother Sita and Lakshman. In other words, for us to cross this river of earthly existence and go back home to where we have come from, the name of Rama is important. Devotees, when Guha now came up, when the aerial car landed in his village, tears of joy streamed from his eyes, and he could not even contain his delight. And what did he do? He ran forward, devotees, and dandavat kari like a stick. Danda means a stick, and when you bow, you don't just bow and say, okay, touch the knee or touch the... No, you go flat down like this. Head is on the ground and feet down flat, like a danda. That's what it means when a stick falls. And Lord Rama, Lakshmanji and Sudama, they blessed the tribal men. They took a bath in the sacred Ganga, and then they asked Guha now to take them across this Ganga. Devotees, last time we covered this terminology. Prana jai par vachana na jai. When you give your word to someone about something, if it means your life, stick to your word. Do not go back. Do not fall back in your words. As this bhajan of oneness, it says, where does the river Ganga go? Where does it come from? Like the sunshine and the shade of rise and waves of this water. Multicolored cups, some made of glass, some made of clay. When one is thirsty, they all hold the same water. Millions of forms thread our world, and millions of faces we see with love in our hearts. We should always see all as one. Goswami Tulsidas Ji tells us, Siyaram mai sab jagadani, karahu pranam jodi jugapani. See all and see God in every single one. Treat every human being, every creature, with respect, with honor, as one. The bhajan tells us, Ganga aaye kahan se, Ganga jaye kahan re, aaye kahan re, jaye kahan se. एक पानी में जैसे धूप छाओ रे. Come on, we're all going for a ride of Ganga tonight. Ganga aaye kahan se, Ganga jaye kahan re, लहरा तो पानी में जैसे धूप छाओ रे. गंगा आए कहाँ रे, गंगा जाए कहाँ से, लहरा तो पानी में जैसे धूप छाओ रे. रात काली दिन उजियारा मिल गए दोनों साए. रात काली दिन उजियारा मिल गए दोनों साए. सांझ ने देखो रंग रूप के कैसे दिखाए रे, लहरा पानी में जैसे धूप छाओ. गंगा आए कहाँ रे, गंगा जाए कहाँ से, लहरा पानी जैसे धूप छाओ, ओ गंगा आए कहाँ से, गंगा जाए कहाँ रे, लहरा तो पानी में जैसे धूप छाओ, ओ गंगा आए कहाँ से, गंगा जाए कहाँ रे, लहरा तो पानी में जैसे धूप छाओ रे, गंगा आए कहाँ से, गंगा जाए कहाँ रे। प्रेम से बोलिए गंगा माता महारानी की जय। Pray for Sessionmp4. One more day now remain to be spent outside of the city of Ayodhya. So Lord Rama commissioned Hanumanji now to speed, and you know the speed of Hanumanji, son of the living God. Jai Shri Ram, he takes off like a rocket. He was supposed to go back to Ayodhya now because one day was left. I'll tell you why in a minute. And give Bharat the news that the war was won and the entire entourage now is on their way to Ayodhya. You see, when Rama was exiled in the forest, Bharat began to pine. He was so hurt. He wanted, who would not want to be with the Lord at the feet of the Lord? And he made a promise. He said, Lord, my brother, if you are not back in Ayodhya, after the 14th day, not a minute, not an hour, not a second less, or more, sorry, I will take my life. So if they had waited up one day, devotees, to go back to Ayodhya, Bharat was going to do something very silly. Hanumanji now sped away. And to give now Bharat this message, Lord Rama, Mother Sita and Lakshmanji, and all who had come with him now, they moved into the hermitage now of the sage Bharadwaj on the way to Ayodhya, back from Lanka. And the sage accepted them with all humility, with all grace. Goswami Tulsidas Ji writes again in this beautiful chaupai as we sing tonight. Let us see what he says. भगवान रामचंद्र की जय। प्रभु हनुमंत ही कहाँ भुजाई, धारी बातु रूप अवधपुर जाई। भारत ही कौशल हमारी सने हो, सम चल लई तुम चली आई हो। Hanuman ji devotees arrived in the city of Ayodhya in a wink of an eye. Jai Shri Ram. But when he arrived in Ayodhya, he found the residents of Ayodhya lean, skinny, famished, very despondent and depressed. When God is removed from our lives, like last time we discussed EGO, edge God out. When God is removed from our lives, we become a living corpse. Let me repeat. When God is removed from our lives, we become a living corpse. Lean, despondent, like a wilted tree. They hadn't really eaten a lot of food because they were grieving for Lord Rama's absence. All over town, one could hear them wailing and grieving and groaning. And no one could move towards another to console them because everyone was too weak. They were being penalized. But rays of hope now, devotees, had already been cast. News of the arrival or return of Shri Ram was imminent. And Bharat, he had some welcome premonitions, very happy event. His right eye was winking, as they say. You're all familiar with this, right? In Trinidad, especially. What happens when your right eye winking? What does that mean? Good? What about your left eye? What about if both eyes winking? Sweetheart. Yes, Solomon, sweetheart. Devotees, I can attest to this, yes. It does happen. Not all the time, but it does. Because of these premonitions, Bharat now anticipated the receipt, the arrival of the good news of Lord Rama arriving in Ayodhya. He grieved that one more day was still to pass because the exile would not end. The exile, would come to an end. And he was worried that Rama had not sent anyone even to tell him where he was. But he was in for a big surprise. He told himself how fortunate Lakshman was, since he was in Rama's presence for 14 years serving at his lotus feet. He says, the Lord cast me aside. For this, I am a hypocrite. Bharat's words, Goswami Tulsidas, he says, my Lord is all softness and sweetness. He is the kind kinsman of the downtrodden and the fallen. And he is compassion itself. He will certainly arrive tomorrow. And he consoled himself. Just then, Hanuman came into sight. When Hanuman looked at Bharat, devotees, Hanuman was very saddened by his condition. Bharat's body had been reduced now because he was worn out by anxiety. His hair had become matted, His eyes red, but perennial tears. In other words, tears were flowing from Bharat's eyes for the 14-year period that Rama was in exile. But he was repeating the name Ram. Constantly, Ram, Ram, Ram. Not, oh God, boy, when you go come back home, things bad. No. That wasn't Bharat. Ram, Ram, Ram. You see, repeating the name Ram, it is medication itself. Because when you focus, if your body is in pain and you focus on the name Ram, you focus on Ram, not the pain or where it's hurting. Pain goes away. Try it. Devotees, Hanumanji now, he was full of joy at the sight now of Bharat, even though he was weak. But just hearing the name of Ram, just like he is tonight, somewhere seated in here, listening to us and singing away with us as we chant the name of Ram. The hairs on his body, they stood on end because of the ecstasy of the name of Ram. Jai Shri Ram. And Hanuman's thoughts now ran on several directions. But he remembered his mission. And he poured the nectarine news that Bharat was waiting for. He says, Bharat, the person from whom you have been separated for 14 years and been pining without sleep or without food, all these days and nights, whose virtues and powers you have been extolling and reciting for all these years, in the moment of righteousness, he, Rama, has achieved victory over all his enemies. Even the gods, the Gandharvas, are singing his glory. And just as man suffering now from acute thirst, a thirsty man, rendering happy the sight of water when someone is thirsty, Bharat now became filled with joy and ecstasy as he listened to Hanumanji. He wondered now whether he was actually listening to someone speaking or was he dreaming again. But Hanumanji assured him now that this was true. How can this be an illusion, he says. Who is this person who brought this good news? Where did you come from? He asked Hanumanji. And then Hanumanji says, Oh Bharata, I am Hanuman, the son of Vayu, the wind god. You seem to have forgotten. I am the Vanar who fell to the ground before you while I was carrying that Sanjeevani hill to save Bharat, to save Lakshman. I am the silver Ramaduta. Devotees, Bharat now could not hold back the tears and he rose respectfully, overwhelmed with joy. And he bowed his head in reverence to Hanumanji. Jai Shri Ram. He says, O leader of the Vanars, you have demolished my sorrow. Your very sight has ushered calm in my mind. Allow, how fortunate I am. I could see Rama's messenger today. He continued to repeat the sentiments now over some time. Is Rama hale? Is he happy? How is my mother? How is Sitama? How is she? Hanuman, I am so happy. I don't know how to express my gratitude to you. What shall I do in return? I can't find anything of equal value or piousness to offer you in gratitude for bringing me this news today. I forever will be indebted to you, Bharatji said. Then the Swami Tulsidas now tells us what is about to happen in Chaupai. Let's see what he says. Devotees, a conversation between Hanumanji and Bharat now. His body stood at attention. He says, Oh Hanuman, all my woes, all my pains and suffering has disappeared by this news that you have just brought to me. In you, I have embraced my beloved Rama himself. Again and again he inquired about Lord Rama's health, his well-being. He says, listen brother, what shall I give you in return for this news? Tell me the exploits of his fighting into victory. Where is he staying? Hanuman was struck by the devotion and dedication at Bharat and winced, and he fell to the feet of Bharat now to demonstrate his respect and adoration. Bharata, he says, Rama is near to Ayodhya. You can see him soon. We'll all see him soon. His achievements are indescribably wonderful. You know this. And he constantly remembers you. Well, who told him to say that? When he said that Rama constantly remembers Bharat, Bharat began to cry even more. And the words of Rama, he said out of his own mouth, Hanumanji is narrating, in the whole world, there is no brother equal to you in purity of heart and sharpness of intellect, and equipped with the full virtues. How can those words be negated? Bharat was overcome with delight, devotees. He said, did Rama really speak of me like this? Oh Hanuman, oh how fortunate I am. And he embraced Hanumanji and they began to cry. Goswami Tulsidas now again tells us in this doha. Let us see what he says. What happens next? Hanumanji said to Bharata, to Rama, you are as dear as life, Bharat. Take my words to be true, my dear brother. He's consoling Bharat now. Hearing this, Bharat embraced Hanumanji again and again with joy that could not be contained in his heart, devotees. Bowing his head now, at Bharat's feet, Hanumanji fought to return now to the Lord Rama, drawing closer and closer and closer now to him, to city of Ayodhya. Shri Rama mounted his aerial car, devotees, and joyfully proceeded now to the city of Ayodhya. Hanumanji's praises were being sung all over Ayodhya as he brought now joy to all the devotees. And they sang, Prabhu Ramachandra ki Duta Hanumanta Anjaneya. 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 Hanumanta, Hanumanta, Hanumanta Anjaneya. Hanumanta, Devotees, the term of Lord Rama's exile was about to expire, as we discussed the very next day, which made the people of Ayodhya very, very, very anxious. You know, long ago, when relatives would travel from abroad, this is before the age of cell phones and WhatsApp and social media and all these things. Even telephones, those of us from Ramayan Yagya, we got phones like recently, right? We don't have phones. There's one phone I think at the supermarket down Devi Junction. So there was something called a telegram. You're familiar with that? Cable is called, right? And it used to be like 4 words. Well, my father name was teacher too. So let each. Arriving Air Canada 9:03 Thursday, whatever, 7 p.m. That's all. You need to go to the airport. But back then, when you go to the airport, I remember when I left Trinidad, Solomon, we were talking about this last night. Man, there was a busload of people, family and friends, about 80, 90 people. Now when I go back, I have to call Uber. The excitement back then, even though we just got a telegram. Oh my God, we stopped. Mommy, have we cleaned the house for months? Oh, Uncle, come in, clean the house, sweep, mop, and so forth. That excitement was in Ayodhya. And Bharat began to make preparations now because he got the news, he got the telegram that his Lord, his brother was coming home. Goswami Tulsidas said, it was seldom that he would ever find both of his feet on the ground. What does he mean by this? He was hop, skipping and jumping all over the place, cleaning up, getting the place ready now for the arrival of the Lord. He rushed into the queen's apartments and announced that Ram, Sita and Lakshman were arriving. Could you imagine the excitement of the 3 mothers? All the mothers in the audience tonight. If your child is away, if your child is coming back home, don't you feel the excitement? You know that very well, did you? That excitement, Bharat ordered the entire city to be informed like CNN, no pun intended, that all the news now of the arrival of the Lord, the news reached with lightning speed to every single household. Oh my goodness, it was like Diwali time in Trinidad, Diwali time in Devi. All remember this? Ramayan Yagya? The 3 mothers, devotees, they rose with joy. And the children, even the aged men now, women, they ran helter-skelter, shouting the news at the top of the voice, Rama is coming, Rama Yagya. And there's a beautiful bhajan that I will ask Mala Didi, who's joining me from Florida today, to sing for us. Shri Rama Ayodhya mein aaye, chalo re sakhi Ram se mile. Mala ji.
रघु रामा अयोध्या में आई, चलो रे सखी राम से मिले, चलो रे सखी राम से मिले। रघु रामा अयोध्या में आई, चलो रे सखी राम से मिले, चलो रे सखी राम से मिले। राम से मिले सिया राम से मिले, राम से मिले सिया राम से मिले। रघु रामा अयोध्या में आई, चलो रे सखी राम से मिले, चलो रे सखी राम से मिले। रघु रामा अयोध्या में आई, चलो रे
Prem se bolo Ramachandra ki jai. Beautiful voice of Mala Samarji, who's traveling with me from Florida to be with us here at this beautiful mandir this evening. Prabhu Rama Ayodhya mein aayi, chalo re sakhi Ram se mile. Meet Rama. Come on friends, let's go meet the Lord. Beautiful, beautiful, powerful bhajan indeed. And in the midst of Lord Rama's description, now the car, aerial car is on its way. He's describing the beauty of Ayodhya. The beauty of Ayodhya. Bharat now appeared at the head of the armed forces. What was the emblem of Ayodhya's Bharat's army? Do you know what the emblem was? What was the emblem on the flag? The sun, Surya Darshan, very close. The banyan tree. The banyan tree, that was the army of Bharat. That's where you recognized that his army was coming. And the excitement devotees that even reached up to the sky, the heavens. The mothers embraced Rama when they saw him. And with ecstatic delight, they forgot about all their pains and suffering, all their worries. Their son had come home, all three of them. They were caught in a flood of happiness. You know, this flood of happiness that they were caught on, some of you, hopefully all of you experience it when you perform your pujan. When you sing the praises of Rama and the tears begin to flow, you don't know where it's coming from. That is the flood of happiness that Goswami Tulsidas is narrating for us tonight. Rama drew Bharat, he went right to Bharat and he drew him near and pined as his wellness, his weakened frame, and consoled him lovingly like a little baby patting his head. He praised his brother aloud. He praised his brother aloud for his steadfast devotion and affection towards the people. Devotees, you remember very well in Kathaa, in Aranyakand, when Bharat went into the forest to try to force or to try to sway Rama to come back before his time because father has died, Dashrath had died. Rama said no, and he gave Bharat his kathaa, his sandals. He says, go back and place these sandals on your throne. Sorry, take these sandals as an emblem of my presence. What did Bharat do? He placed the kathaa of Rama on his head and he walked back from the forest to Ayodhya devotees. And when he got to the city of Ayodhya, what did he do with the kathaa? He placed it on the throne. That's it, brother. He didn't try to go to the lawyer and sign over the bill and say, boy, Ram, you stay in the forest, I'll take the kingdom. No. That's Kali. That's not what they think. Devotees, the Vedic scholars, they raised their voices to the sky, chanting Sanskrit verses and blessings. Jai Shri Ram, may you live victoriously for 100 years. Saubhagyavati. Let me spend a minute on this as I share with you personal experience again. Saubhagyavati. When my father, most of you know him, Pandit Tulsi Prasad, I think he's on tonight, Sitaram Davamount in Trinidad. When he blesses anyone, he says these words, Saubhagyavati. What does this mean? He says, as high as the Himalayas may rise, may you always be blessed, my child. Going back a few more years now, my Aji, the late Rukmin Samlal Duki, passed away many years ago. But when you bow at Aji's feet, she would hit you hard in the back. Somebody said, Aj, come on, don't hit me so hard, man. But she would hit you hard and she would say these words, Jug Jug Jio Hamaro Betu. You all know this? I want you to memorize it, record it. Jug Jug Jio Hamaro Betu. And you hit them hard and not too hard. And they're back. May you, you hitting people hard, boy. Jug Jug Jio Hamaro Betu. Devotees, put this into practice. Make it happen from tomorrow morning. So we can have many children here tonight. But when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do, after your biologicals and so forth, make a beeline. If your parents are alive and in the same house, go to your parents and bow to their feet. And parents, when they bow to your feet, pat them on the back with both hands. Jug Jug Jio Hamaro Betu. You see that blessing? That blessing is what will take you into the next plethora, the next phase. Meaning that blessing is greater than whatever money can buy in this world, that blessing is so much greater than that. Jug Jug Dio Hamaro Betu. I say this all, memorize it and learn it. Bless your children, all mothers tonight, and fathers too. Jug Jug Dio Hamaro Betu. When Lord Rama now, all the brothers, everyone was holding on to his feet. He insisted to them, said, come on, rise man, get up, let's move on, let's go into the city. They did not want to let him go, devotee, like a baby. Their minds were so filled with ecstasy, the ecstasy of seeing who? Their Prabhu. A rare beauty and a splendor. Remember, they haven't seen him for 14 years, And like a little calf, whose little heifer was tied away for the day and comes back in the pen in the evening. They began to kiss Lord Rama, they began to hug him up. You know how a calf behaves, or any animal for that matter, when the young is taken away. when it comes back to the mother, how the mother is so happy. Devotees, Rama then began to admire the faith of the city, beauty of the city. And when he took the queens near him now, he introduced them to the whole army. He says, these are my mothers. All of them now, all the Vanas, they fell to the feet now of the mothers. He says, we see the mothers who gave birth to God himself. The Vanas are saying this. You are indeed most worthy of worship. Bless us graciously. And this is where the mother says, Jug Jug Jio Hamaro Beto. Blessed all of them. Kausalya addressed them, O Vanas, you are as dear to me as Rama himself, my own son. Then, deliberating amongst themselves now, they ascended their separate chariots now, or spaceships as we say, to go back home, to their respective homes. Flags were flying all across the city, devotees, on all streets and all houses. It was a celebratory, like Independence time. And when Rama came before them, the faces of the people, which were previously faded and shaded away, were like lotuses opening in the blossom of a moonlight. The sky resounded with their cheers and the shouts of victory. Goswami Tulsidas tells us now, the chariot that bore Rama now, this was before in the entrance to the city. Now he's coming into the streets of the city. They were bursting with excitement. There were musicians, gandharvas on every single street corner, singing and chanting the glories. And the auspicious flames of the oil lamps now were held by the devotees like Diwali time, and they were waving like this. Devotees, the roads were soaked with rose water. Do you all know how rose water smells? The aroma from rose water. The roads were soaked with rose water. Why? Lord Rama is coming. Lord Rama will be walking on this. Like Shabarima paved the path with marigold flowers so her Lord's feet wouldn't touch the ground. The residents of Ayodhya paved the roads with rose water. And Goswami Tulsidas tells us what is about to happen in the next chapter. Let's see what he says. As the chariots pass, Goswami Tulsidas tells us, showers of flowers rain down on them. You all have, what you call it downtown? Ticker tape parade, right? In New York? Yeah. Right? When the Yankees or whoever wins, when the tournaments, you have a ticker tape parade. This is what was happening in Ayodhya thousands of years ago, but in the newspaper. Using flowers, beautiful flowers, showering the ecstasy of the citizens of Ayodhya. With his three brothers, Bharat, Lakshman and Shatrughan, and Mother Sita, and all the mothers by his side. Rama gave immense joy, his blessings, his ashirvad, to all who were packed on the side of the road. People congratulated one another, devotees. It was a happy time in Ayodhya. They were celebrating. And when they reached the palace, the women in the entire apartments, the inner apartments, and the servants of the house, they came forward to receive the Lord with customary rituals like washing of the feet. A devotee of Lord Rama says to him, I have come to worship you, O Lord. Please don't leave Ayodhya again. Please let me remain at your lotus feet and always keep me in the abode of Lord Rama. Let us sing, let us clap our hands, devotees, we glorify Maryada Purushottam Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan. Rama ho Rama re, bhul mat jana, teri Ayodhya. Oh Rama, give you food, fruits and flowers. We're going to wash your feet. Please don't ever leave us again. Tonight, devotees, let us ask Lord Rama to remain in our hearts as we offering all these beautiful, beautiful ornaments. Phool laya, phal laya tere liye. Phool laya, phal laya tere liye. तुझको चढ़ाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तुझको चढ़ाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। रामा हो राम रे, भूल मत जाना, तेरी अयोध्या ओ राम जी, तेरी अयोध्या live. We're going to give him dahi. We're going to give him curds and all the beautiful ingredients that we use in puja. दूध लाया दही लाया तेरे लिए, दूध लाया दही लाया तेरे लिए, दूध लाया दही लाया तेरे लिए, दूध लाया दही लाया तेरे लिए। तुझको खिलाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तुझको खिलाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। रामा हो राम रे, भूल मत जाना, तेरी अयोध्या ओ राम जी, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। Oh Rama, we are going to wave the lights, the arti in front of you. We are going to give you home, beautiful smelling incense, sweet smelling incense and rose water. We are going to wash the streets of Ayodhya. Please do not ever leave us. दूध लाया तेरे लिए, दूध लाया दीप लाया तेरे लिए, धूप लाया दीप लाया तेरे लिए, धूप लाया दीप लाया तेरे लिए। तुझको दिखाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तुझको दिखाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। रामा हो राम रे, भूल मत जाना, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। ओ राम जी, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। पत्थर लाया तेरे लिए, ईद लाया पत्थर लाया तेरे लिए, ईद लाया पत्थर लाया तेरे लिए, ईद लाया पत्थर लाया तेरे लिए। मंदिर बनाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, मंदिर बनाऊंगा वापस ना जाऊंगा, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। मत जाना, तेरी अयोध्या छोड़ के। ओ to enter the palace, the sage Vashishta, the royal preceptor, he announced the date now immediately for the celebration of Lord Rama's coronation. He gave all the details, he looked at the nakshatra and the time and all that in the patra, and he assigned this date and this time we will have the inauguration. He invited all the priests from all over to take part in the ceremonies that the Vedas had enjoined. Vashishta called Sumantra, the messenger, and addressed him. He says, assemble all of the armed forces, the cavalry, the elephantry, the chariotry, the infantry, at the city, at the front of the city, for Rama's coronation, because it will be celebrated this time. Devotees, the horsemen, the foot soldiers, all the elephants, they were colorfully decorated. Could you imagine the scene now? The coronation is about to take place. Just as though when we are coronating or inaugurating the President of the United States, everything is decorated, it's pomp and pageantry. Messengers were sent in all different directions to gather auspicious articles for the ceremony. And the entire city now was filled with ecstasy as the citizens were ready to celebrate. Lord Rama was very special. He was considerate towards the people, and he had a very special love for the people who accompanied him beyond Ayodhya, such as Sugriv, Vibhishan, Angad, Neel, Nal, and others. And he ordered proper arrangements for them to accommodate them while they were in Ayodhya, like a guest in his city, in his home. And then Rama called Bharat. Devotees, I want you to listen to this part of the kathaa very carefully tonight, as brotherly love is being expressed now. He called Bharat, and with his own hands, he combed the hair of his brother. How many brothers in this world today, will do such a thing? With his own hands. Bharat's hair was matted. He combed his hair with his own hands. Because he hadn't paid attention to his hair for many years. Then Rama received Vashishta's instructions now to disentangle his own hair. Because also, imagine living in the forest, there was no shampoo, there was no body wash and these things. His hair was also matted. And the sage Vashishta said, this time you also untangle your hair, the matted hair. And meanwhile, the queens took Mother Sita to give her a royal bath as well. The mothers carefully combed her hair, devotees, like a little baby, and dressed her in a yellow silk sari. And they made her wear jewels in thousands. And then she shone like Goddess Lakshmi. And by the way, who was Mother Sita in Ramayan? Goddess Lakshmi, yes. Devi Bhagavatam tells us this. Durga Devi Mata in Devi Bhagavatam. I'll just cross over for a second. When all the Devas and Devis went to her to pray to her, the Divine Mother, the protectress. This fellow Ravan is creating some trouble. How are we going to get rid of him? Lord Vishnu says, I will take the form of Lord Rama, the seventh incarnation. And Bhavani Shankar Ma said, I will help you. I will come and I will be born into the kingdom of Janak. And I will come as one of my forms, my sister Lakshmi. She was indeed Lakshmi. She went to Rama and took a rightful seat on her left side. Then the three mothers, devotees, experienced the highest bliss by looking at their children, looking at Rama and Sita now seated together. And they said, Kaushalya said to the rest of them, isn't this our luckiest day? Today our lives have achieved fulfillment. And today our dearest wish has come true. Today our eyes have had the purpose that they were designed for, to see the Lord and Mother Sita seated on his throne. Devotees, this throne was decorated with so many gems and stones. Goswami Tulsidashi gives us a complete description, but we wouldn't go into that tonight because of time. The Pandits began to recite the appropriate hymns, and everyone chanted in the auditorium now, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. It was echoing, it was reverberating all over the walls of this marble-built palace. It was the seventh day of the dark half of the moon in the month of Vishaka, which is April to May. So this premonition that we have, that Rama came back from the forest on Diwali day, it's a little bit off, because of the premonition, because of what is written in scriptures. Taking permission out from the assembly and the assent of the Pandits, Vashishta, he wound the insignia of the imperial authority on Rama's bow. Kaushalya, Rama's mother, they turned their eyes on Rama and they felt supremely happy. What can be said about the joy of brothers now, devotees? Brothers today should emulate this type of love and joy when their siblings are prospering. They were holding umbrellas and standing behind the throne as Rama's attendants, his brothers. They weren't worried about their brother on the throne and how much money he's going to get or how much wealth he has now. Devotees, in fact, all through the years, they were doing penance. They were chanting the name of Rama while their brother was in the forest. The gods began to beat drums of victory, devotees. Tassa drums, kettle drums were playing. The celestial gandharvas, the musicians, they were singing, praising the Lord. The celestial dancers danced in joy. The Vishnu, Sugriv, Angad, Hanuman, Jamvat, Neel and Nal, and the others. They had simtas, they had these little musical instruments, and they were dancing, devotees, on both sides of the throne. Everyone was happy. And when Mother Sita, she blossomed like the angel, like the goddess Lakshmi herself, everyone was in awe. And the gods were fascinated by the divine charm of the Lord of the Raghu line. Devotees, Goswami Tulsidas tells us tonight in this final doha, let us see what he says. Prem se bolo Bhagwan Shri Ramachandra ki Jai. While everyone looked on as what was happening, in the Vedas it stated a great prayer was heard from the sky, from the heavens. Bhagwan Shiva, as we spoke of last night, was very fond, and Mother Parvati were very fond of Lord Rama, Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram. As a matter of fact, at this very moment, Lord Shiva comes into the picture, and what does he say? He says, Goswami Tulsidas Ji writes, he says, बार बार बरमांग हो, बार बार बरमांग हो, हर सिरे श्री रंग, पर सरोजयन पायनी, पर सरोजयन पायनी, भक्ति सदा सत्संग, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय. Bar bar baramango. Again and again I ask only this boon of you. Be pleased to grant it, O Lord of Lakshmi, unceasing devotion. Lord Shiva's words, unceasing devotion to your lotus feet. Parasarojayana pavani. What? With devotees having thus hymned the lyrics, the hymns of Rama. Bhakti sada satasang. This is what we have been doing, and this is what we'll continue to do. Devotees, बार बार बर मांगहो हर सुदेव श्रीरंग पर सरोजन पावनी भक्ति सदा सत्संग. Lord Shiva gives instructions to Lord Rama for those who sing your name, O Lord. Bar 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 mango. May they always be blessed. And this is why we sing the name of Rama. So when next time you come satsang, I know all of you did beautiful tonight. Come on, give yourselves a lovely round of applause. Whenever you go to satsang, or Pandit, or you listen to the beautiful kirtans being chanted, sing the name of God. Don't be afraid. Close your eyes, nobody wouldn't see you. Sing loud, sing your heart's desire. You know something, devotees? As we bring this kathaa to a close tonight, we're going to have about 30 minutes of bhajans as we promised, and we'll do that as a little bhajan mala this evening. But there's something I'd like to do, and I do this everywhere I go. What is the most powerful four-letter word in this world? Love. L-O-V-E. Love, when divided, it multiplies. And Padadil added something to that statement. Love, when divided, multiplies exponentially, for those of you familiar with math. When it's divided, multiplies exponentially. Tonight we're going to do something. I want you to look to the person to the left of you. Do you know this person? You know, I'm sorry. I'm going to watch Sally. Watch Sally now. Come on. I want you to tell this person, I love you.
I love you.
I hear no. Come on, man.
I love you.
I love you too. Now look to the person to the right of you.
I love you all.
Tell this person I love you. Of course. Jai Shri Rama. Devotees, what did that just cost you? If you were to put a blood pressure meter on your bodies right now, your blood pressure would have just dropped about 10 readings, sorry. Bapre. This powerful word called love will enable us to move mountains. Whether you're in business, whether you're in a mandir, whether you're in politics, whether you're in government, learn to love. Bhagwan Baba Swami, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba says it very beautifully now. Love all and serve all equally, selflessly. Don't look for anything in return, and don't look for anybody to pat you on your back. Do it selflessly, seva. Devotees, after the coronation, the guests began to depart now from the city of Ayodhya as we close. They stayed for 6 months serving Lord Rama, day and night, selflessly with full execution. And you know, they had no memory of their home. They forgot about their homes and their families and so forth. They just wanted to be with Lord Rama. He said, you all have toiled on my behalf, and of course it's not proper to praise you to your face. You comforted various difficulties for my sake, giving up your homes, not worrying about your wives or your children, unconcerned about your properties and possessions. I have no other friends in this world but you. Therefore, I have special love and companion for you. I now require you to go back to your homes. Serve me after installing me in your hearts. And this is the message Lord Rama left with all these wonderful souls. Serve me after installing me in your hearts. Devotees, I want all of you tonight to take your right hands and reach out to the altar tonight. Right hand to the altar. Take that feet of Lord Rama in your hands now tonight and bring it and place it into your heart. Say, Aye mere Prabhu, stay with me in my heart. How does that feel? Lord Rama is now instilled in our hearts. And with love in our hearts, with God seated in our hearts, He becomes that filter. We all have computers. There's something called an antivirus filter in a computer that doesn't allow anything to come in that is bad, and neither to go that is bad. This Lord that we just put into our heart tonight, let us treat Him like the antivirus filter. Why? Any thought that is not approved by the Lord should never even be thought of. Any action that is not approved by the Lord, because He's right here, don't do it. He's right here. And most importantly of all, from the deadliest weapon in this human body, any word that has to be spoken that is not approved by the Lord, do not utter it, because you could never take that back. Bhagwan is here. If this maxim is installed in our hearts on a daily basis, how can we go wrong, devotees? How can we go wrong? How can we hurt others? Help ever, hurt never, Baba says. How can we go wrong? Myself as an individual in the business world, I put this into practice on a daily basis. I'm not bragging, but I use this on a daily basis. If I know even my superiors are wrong, I will call them out on the spot. How am I to agree with something that is false or negative? Even in business, you will pay for that one day. That is negative karma. Let us put this into practice tonight, devotees. Let us become better human beings. This is what Ramayan is about. This is what Ram Katha is about. Let us live like the ideals of Bhagwan Shri Ram. Prem se bolo Madhyara Purushottam Bhagwan Ram Chandra ki Jai. I'll leave you with this message tonight from the words of Lord Rama. One day Lord Rama went to the garden with his brothers and his dear Hanumanji in order to spend some time just walking through the gardens, There's something called grounding. You're familiar with this term? Grounding? Well, you have winter here in New York, but down in Florida we have summer right through. Whenever you feel like a little disconnected, if your body is feeling, you feel like you're tension, restless, take off your shoes or your slippers and go walk in the grass. Connect with Mother Earth, Mata. That's called grounding. Especially in the morning when the dew has just fallen on that grass. Let me tell you something. One of the most greatest experiences you have. You will calm right down. Shanti immediately by grounding. Why? Bhudevi. Where did Mother Sita come from? Right there. That's called grounding. Try it, it works, devotees. The place was filled with flowers and fruits, and Rama sat on an elevated seat, and the brothers on his side. They were having a little panchayat, And they looked at Hanuman and they began to communicate their feelings to him. They knew that if Hanuman asked the questions, Rama would gladly give the answers. So Hanuman wasn't afraid. And the omnipresent Lord Rama recognizes what was happening. He says, Hanuman, what do you seek to know? The Lord knows everything. He said, Oh, protector of the weak, Bharat wants to ask you a question. But he was a little bit doubtful now. He was frightened. He folded his palms and he fell to the feet of Lord Rama, having answered his query. And in thankfulness now, he was commanded to speak in the presence of Lord Rama. Hanuman, you know full well of my nature. There is no difference between Bharat and myself. Lord Rama is saying this. Nothing to either even feel distinct. But when Bharat heard these words, he fell at Lord Rama's feet and said, Oh, healer of the miseries and those who surround you, listen. Pardon my errors. Pahi, Pahi, Prabhu. Pardon my errors and protect me, O Bhaya. I have no doubts lurking in my mind. I have no griefs. I have no attachment, not even in my dreams. Of course, I owe you this grace and compassion. You are the treasure and storehouse of all values. He said, Bhaya, the qualities marks out the good and the endless number in the Vedas and the Puranas. And the distinction that separates the good and the bad is wide and between the sandal tree. The axe is killing the sandal tree, cutting it, but the tree does only good to its executioner. Hence, the sandal wood and the paste, the chandan, is appreciated by all. The gods love to have sandal paste on their foreheads, but see what happens to the axe that does harm to the tree and wishes it well? It is kept in fire, and it is red hot, and is hammered into shape, into that pointed shape. Wicked persons cause grief to good people in this manner. Bhagwan Ram is saying this. But the good always wish well and do good even to the wicked. Whatever harm is done to them and whatever their gain, they certainly will attain moksha. Remember this, devotees, with Lord Rama in our hearts tonight. Let us take a different turn, starting right now. Every thought, every word and every deed, it needs to go through this filter, and if it ain't good, don't do it, don't say, don't even think about it. Jai Shri Ram. Devotees, good men, Lord Rama, they are not fascinated by sensual pleasures. The Lord is saying, they possess all the best virtues and behaviors of moral, and they will be happy at the happiness of others and sad when others are sad. Let me repeat, they will be happy at the happiness of others and sad when others are sad. We had some neighbors, well, Jim, you know very well what I'm talking about. Jim is my next door neighbor from Trinidad. We had some neighbors, they will quarrel. And when they finish quarreling, one neighbor will say to the other one, you see you, I'm saying colloquially in Trinidad slang now, when I'm dead, I will come back and I will do for you. That person doesn't even know where they're going, but yet they want to die and come back to do for this neighbor. Right? How can people like this achieve moksha, salvation going on? They're going to remain right here, come back to this Bhare bhagya manushitana pava sunadurlabha sabagarandana gava. To be reborn into this cycle of birth and death. I don't want to come back here. You should not want to come back on this earth. There's a better place, devotees. We all need to go there. And how we do it? By chanting the name of Rama. Bhagavan says, whoever practices these characteristics, they are of my own nature. Be happy when others are happy and be sad when they are sad. When something negative happens to a brother or sister or neighbor, don't ever say good for them, it should have happened a long time ago. No, devotees, this is not Ramayan. Close the Ramayan then. Devotees, they are myself. They are I am them. Take that to be the truth. Devotees, we'll do one line of this bhajan. I know I'm going to keep you back late, but you know, we asked for 9:30 tonight so that we can sing a few bhajans. We have some beautiful bhajan singers which we'll listen to tonight. This beautiful bhajan says, oh Lord, look at the condition of this world. How much has man changed? The sun, the moon and the clouds have not changed. But the striking change in man has become a cause for concern. देख तेरे संसार की हालत क्या हो गई भगवान सूरज न बदला चांद न बदला ना बदला रे आसमान कहीं पे दंगा नाच रहा कर उधर नंगा चल और कपट के हाथों अपना बेच रहा ईमान कितना बदल गया इंसान कितना बदल गया इंसान देख तेरे संसार की हालत क्या हो गए भगवान वो कितना बदल गया कितना बदल गया इंसान वो कितना बदल गया इंसान प्रेम से बोलो भगवान रामचंद्र की जय devotees Bhagwan Ram says to the audience that he has of his brothers and Hanumanji, let me quickly tell you about the qualities of good people. Sorry, qualities of bad people. You already covered the good. You should avoid their company at all costs. Stay away. You know when you meet some people for the first time, all you want to do is to hug them and stay close to them. And then others that you meet, stay far. Grief will descend upon you as a result of that companionship, like a bag of bad apples. Their hearts will be pained at the prosperity of others. This happens in this world today. I'm not going to go negative tonight, but it happens today at the highest levels of spirituality. They will be delight in much as scandalizing others in welcoming fortune. Devotees, the words of Lord Rama, not Pandit Neil. He says, the six foes of good people: lust, anger, greed, desire, hypocrisy and hatred. Let me take you back real quick to Ayodhya Kand. Lord Rama was at the hermitage of the sage Valmiki. And he says, sage, my father has given me 14 years to rule this Dandakanya forest. Where should I go? Tell me, where should I reside? The sage Valmiki said, Lord, you know the entire universe is a plum in the palm of your hands, and you're asking me where to go? The Swami Tulsidasi told her, he says, Kam Krodha Madhman Moha लोभन चोभन रागना द्रोहा जिनके कपट दंभा नहीं माया जिनके हृदय बसहु रघुराया श्री राम जय राम जय जय भगवान रामचंद्र की जय. tell you what, come back tomorrow morning and we'll sing plenty Ramayan, alright? We're a little bit against time tonight. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Ahankar, the 9 negative qualities. Stay away from this. He says, these bad people, their pity and charity, are absent in their makeup. They don't know about these things. They pick quarrels and fights with others for no reason, even without provocation. They develop enmity even towards those who are good to them. There's a word for that in Trinidad. We're going to say it on the air tonight. Starts with N. They develop enmity and their actions are false. Their utterances are false and their dealings of giving are false and fake. Their attitudes are hard and they have a heart of stone. Rama doesn't reside there. Their attitudes, devotees, they're too wicked. They're eager to harm others and they crave others' belongings, including their wives. They relish damaging the reputation of others. And they are the meanest amongst people. Don't be like these people. They have no fear of retribution. They don't brave. And when they see or hear about the progress of another, they are possessed by so much envy that they are inflicted with this umbrella. They get headaches because the neighbor is doing good, or the brother is doing good, or the friend is doing good. They suffer, they put that pain onto themselves. No Tylenol can solve that. Devotees, they have no consideration towards their parents, or their preceptors, or their elders. And their hearts are the birthplaces of lust, and anger, and greed. And finally, this type of behavior in these people can only be observed in this age. He was talking about the age of Kali. In the age of Kali Yuga. Because when Rama reigned, none of this happened. No, absolutely not. And finally, devotees, he says, for such people, I will deal karmic consequences. And it is only after a long passage of time, during which they have to struggle out of the darkest of the darkness, that I will vouchsafe for them to come back to me. So in other words, born, rebirth into this society, back again. As I close tonight, devotees, those who are born as people have to realize that God resides in all. Good or bad, God resides in all. The Atma within us, everyone should serve the divine and regard that service as the most proper worship of God. Observe that dictates God with a full heart, not half. Carry out all activities as though you were dedicating them to God. Think about this for a second. All activities are dedicated to God. How could you do wrong? How could you hurt another? And those who yearn to be happy here and after, he says, listen to my words. Have them as your guides and your goals. Follow this path, says Lord Rama. Jai Shri Ram. प्रेम से बोलो मनियाला पुरुषोत्तम भगवान रामचंद्र की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय. Tonight, devotees, before we go into our bhajan segment, I'd like to thank firstly my Shishya, my god Didi, I should say, because her children are my godchildren, Srimati Rajpati Roy. Give her a lovely round of applause, please, Ashota, this evening. And to your children listening all over, and grandchild as well, who are also my Shishyas, namaskar to you. To Didi Dalin Ruplal and Didi Geeta Samlal, thank you so much for your contributions and sponsoring also this Yagya. And we have a very special presentation that we would like to make at this time. And I'd like to call Malaji, Mala Didi, please come and have a seat up here. Yes, only one Mala I know. Well, no, I have a couple Malas in here, sir. Mala Didi from Florida. Passport number 35675. Please come to the altar. And that also is my schoolmate as well. So please take a seat.
Keeping up the Bhojpuri culture.
Your one.
Yeah, family.
Put the Chandan machine. While we're doing this, we have a beautiful bhajan by Didi ji over there. wonderful voice, very divine. Pratimaji. Yes. Om Sri Khanda Chandanam Divyam Gandharya Somanoharam Vilipanam Susesam Chandanam Pratikritam Malini Sugandhi Malinjani Vaisvi Vaishani Sudasa Pushpani Pratikritam Pushpani Samarpayami.
Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarka Stundvante Divyestavera Vede Sangha Parikrama Punishade Gayantiyam Samaga Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This bhajan says Gare Panchi Gare Prabhu Gana. And what it says is, sing, O bird, chant the name of the Lord. Bolo Ram, Bolo Sham. Panditji said some beautiful and inspiring things in his kathaa tonight. Thank you, Panditji. Give him a round of applause. There's something, if I have his permission, that I'd like to add. It's like adding my little sugar to his bit. Madhu. Ram stems from the sun, Ra. If there's something that I know Panditji knows is the solar plexus chakra, or the Manipur chakra, is where our navel is. The solar plexus chakra is said to be governed by Surya, Ra. So it's no surprise that Hanuman Swami was so powerful. If he's chanting from his navel the name of Rama and honing into the love of Ashtasiddhi Navanidhi Ke Data Asabaratina Janaki Mata, Hanumanji knew that accessing the power of Rama from his stomach, only then can he access the power of love from Janaki Mata, Lakshmi Maya, which explodes from his heart. And if there's something that you all should know is, the throat chakra is called the Vishuddha chakra, and the Bij mantra is Hum. Whenever you say Hanuman's name, what is the first syllable? Ha. So what you're utilizing is the power of Rama, the love of Sita, and the power of Hanumana to manifest everything in your life. How beautiful is that? Jai Ho. Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram, Bolo Ram. नाम क्या है? बोलो राम, 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 बोलो श्याम, 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 बोलो श्याम।
of applause here. It's coming beautifully done indeed. And Mother Saraswati, continue to bless that beautiful voice of yours. Continue singing Boloram, Boloram, Boloram. Devotees, this final 30 minutes, which we are about to come to the end of, is a little fundraiser for this Mandir, this Sudama Mandir. And tonight, rather than doing two collections, we like to ask all of you tonight, when you give your arati, please give generously. Dig deep in your pockets through this Mandir, and not for Pandami, this is for the Mandir, the upkeep of this beautiful ashram. Tonight, someone who I have a lot of respect for in the music industry, I've known for many, many years, and know him growing up in Trinidad as the Mohammed Rafi. And you all are very blessed in your city to have this golden voice of the great Lalchan Rafi Singh Ji. Yeah, give him a lovely round of applause.
Chalanti mero vichalanti lagnam, chalanti tara ravichandra lagnam, kadapi kale prithvi chalantam, satpurusha vakyam na chalanti dharmam. भगवान राम वनवास के बाद अयोध्या आए और राजा बने। वानर सेना ने उनसे शिकायत की। वानर तो भक्त है भगवान राम के, लेकिन जब से वो भगवान के समीप आए तब से युद्ध में लग गए। भगवान राम अपने भक्तों के साथ खेले नहीं और अब तो राजा बन गए हैं। भगवान राम ने वानरों को वचन दिया कि वे कृष्ण अवतार लेंगे और वानरों को ग्वाल वाल बनाकर उनके साथ माखन चोरी का खेल रचाए। अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले, भय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले, भगवान के है नाम जी है जीवाले। अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले, अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले, जय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले, जय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले। सीता जी हो गई रुक्मणी और लक्ष्मण बलरामा, नंद भैलो राजा दशरथ उद्धव जी हनुमाना। सीता जी हो गई रुक्मणी और लक्ष्मण बलरामा, नंद भैलो राजा दशरथ उद्धव जी हनुमाना। शबरी के तो प्राण हुए, शबरी के तो प्राण हुए डूब जाते हवाले, जय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले, जय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले। अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले, अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले, जय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले, जय राम जी के वानर कृष्ण जी के ग्वाले। हुए अयोध्या के नर नारी ब्रजमंडल के वासी, मणि कृष्ण की वही गोपिया राम किसी को नाची। हुए अयोध्या के नर नारी ब्रजमंडल के वासी, मणि कृष्ण की वही गोपिया राम किसी को नाची। केवट जो बन गया केवट जो बन गया सब अपने रखवाले, जय राम जी के वानर शिकारी जिसने प्रभु के अंगूठे पे वार किया था भारी। रावण ही बन गया कंस और बाली बना शिकारी, उसने प्रभु के अंगूठे पे वार किया था भारी। फिर लेंगे अवतार प्रभु, फिर लेंगे अवतार प्रभु, तक रही लोक मत वाले। मैं राम जी के गाने, जी के गाने, मैं राम जी के गाने, जी के गाने। अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले, अपने भक्तों को देखो भगवान यूं संभाले। मैं राम जी के गाने, जी के गाने, बोलो राम सीता राम, बोलो राम राधे राम, बोलो राम सीता राम, बोलो राम राधे राम।
My lovely round of applause. Brings to Bhagavan Ram Ki Jai. I'm going to ask my dear Auntie Esther to close the program for us tonight with a short bhajan minus the kathaa. Give her a lovely round of applause, please. Beautiful voice.
You know, Bharat, I was requested by Roger that it would not be complete. He insists that I do a bhajan that I do all the time.
Chalo.
प्रभु जी सुख का सागर, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी सुख का सागर, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी सुख का सागर।
Let's give her a lovely round of applause. Thank you so much, Auntie Esther, for blessing us with your beautiful voice this evening. Let us go right now to the announcements, and then, we're going to have a speech as the podium coming up. Jai Shri Ram. And then we go right into Arati. I apologize a little bit for keeping you back this evening, but we do have to come back tomorrow morning for the final session. So I turn it over to Guruji.
Devotees, sit around,
Yes.
and a special and cordial welcome to each and every one of you. Panaji, we thank you for gracing our mandir and giving us your blessings on the second session of this Ramayan Yagya. Please give him a big round of applause. We thank our Shota, Ms. Rajpati, for sponsoring Parasad, Bhojan for all of us. Please give her a big round of applause. We thank these talented singers and musicians for their performances. Please give them a big round of applause. Devotees, there's absolutely no eating of salt food in the mandir. Devotees, we need shotas for our Bhagavad Puran Yajna, commencing on Tuesday, August 16th, and to conclude on Thursday, the 18th for Krishna Janam. Devotees, tomorrow morning, this Ramayan Yagya will come to an end. Devotional hours are from 9 to 11 a.m. Please come out in large numbers and support a very worthy cause. Devotees, without you, we have no mandir. Please give yourself a big round of applause. Now we call upon the Jonathan Rajpal to make a couple of announcements. Mr. Rajpal.
To our officiating Vyas, Pandit Neil Dev Prasad, to the noble Brahmins amongst us and you beautiful devotees of God, to this dynamic group that we have in front of us that has graced us so wonderfully for the past nights, we say Sitaram, Radhe Sham, Jai Shri Ram to all of you. Devotees, it is without doubt Pandit Neil has performed such a dynamic job and such a wonderful job in gracing us all with the blessings of Shri Ram. For him to do this all the way coming from Florida, on behalf of the Mandir, on behalf of the executive committee of the Mandir, we say to you, Bhagwan's choicest blessings, and may you continue to be a propagator and of course a soldier in the field of Dharma and propagation of our Dharma in this country that we have all, most of all, us have migrated to. We say without persons like this carrying on our Dharma, carrying on our scriptures, we will not be here, devotees. So a big, big round of applause to Pandit Neil. And for Auntie Mala, of course, for accompanying him. Many of all you don't know that Auntie Mala has been so blessed to reach Bharat Desh, to be recognized with our Bhojpuri culture, to be recognized for her pioneer in promoting our heritage, promoting and carrying on our East Indian ancestral culture that was brought from our ancestors from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, which is a dying culture now here in New York. So anyone who wishes to learn Sohar, Biraha, all that, you contact Auntie Mala. She will sure be willing to pass on her knowledge to you. Devotees, as our Vice President said, we have Krishna Janam coming up. We do look forward to your support as you are here presently, but we also would like your support financially when it comes to the sponsoring of any type, whether it's a $10 to buy malas to make the murti flowers, or whether if it's $5 to put towards the ghee in the hawan. all of you collectively take part in our yajna by putting something from you. So this is why we want to encourage you all to come, whether you don't want to sit or you can't sit for whatever reasons. We will be more than able to support you in any way that you would like to partake in our yajna. And of course we have Radha Ashtami, which is on September the 3rd, which is a Saturday. So that would be the following big event after the Krishna Janam Ashtami. So we devotees, with all our love and support for you all, just how you support us, just in a few short persons we want to recognize here. Bina and Anand, Solomon and Anjimala and family, Cliff and Paula for always supporting us, Uncle Omar, Rajpati and family, Deochan, Auntie Baby, Auntie Rose, all the people, especially Uncle Kumar, who takes his time to make all these malas for the deities. Devotees, give Uncle Kumar a big round of applause. Because coming from someone who had such a speedy recovery, it is only by the grace of Shri Ram. This is a true Bhakt of Shri Ram that he's back here to serve the Lord just as he was. In a short speed of time, the Lord made him so prepared to be back with us here. So without further ado, the ladies in the kitchen, it's too lengthy to call because every day there's so many participants that wish to help in the back. So all the ladies who in the kitchen in the back helping, and all those who stay back every night to help us prepare for the following nights, we really do appreciate you all. And without further ado, Auntie Esther and your group with Kajal and Roger and my young boy here, without your musical influence and talent, we would not have this energy and this Shakti we have here. So we do appreciate your presence and gracing us here at Sudama Mandir. So devotees, come out tomorrow as we come and we celebrate Shri Ram, we dance, we sing as we conclude this yajna. And Uncle Solomon said to tell all it have curry tomorrow, right? So if that's any encouragement, come out to eat the curry and rice if you don't want to dance. So devotees, please, with all the reach home safely to your respective homes, and please do take part in Arti and Bhojan before leaving to your respective homes. Jai Shri Ram.
Devotees, may we all stand for Arti.
हरि ओम साजं च वज्र संयुक्तं महीनायोजितं मया दीपं गृहाणदेव त्रैलोक्यं दिविरापाहं यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मयन्तर्कृतानि च तानि विनाशयन्ति प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे आरती की जय हनुमान लला की 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 दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की आरती की जय
लक्ष्मण मूर्छित पड़े सखाए, आनि संजीवन प्राण बुलाए, पैठी पाताल तोड़ी जमकारे, अहि रावण की भुजा उखारे, भाई भुजा असुर मारे, यही भुजा संत जन मारे, भारती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, भारती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, सुर नर मुनि भारती उतारे, जय 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 हनुमान उतारे, कंचन धार कपूर लाठाई, आरती करत अंजना माई, जो हनुमान जी की आरती गावे, बसी बैकुंठ परम पद पावे, आरती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, आरती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, दुष्ट नर रघुनाथ कलाई, दुष्ट नर रघुनाथ कलाई, आरती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, आरती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, आरती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई, आरती की जय हनुमान लड़ाई। कथा विसर्जन होत है, सुनो वीर हनुमान, रामा लक्ष्मण जानकी सदा करो कल्याण, एक घर यादो घरी आदो में पुरिया, तुलसी संगत सारी हटे होते अपराध, श्रोता समया संगए शंभु गए कैलाश, रामायण मम हृदय महा आन करहु दूपास, परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं, परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं, परमात्मैष्णात् मोक्ष प्रदातं, बाबा विभूतिं नमामि, परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं, परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं, त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति, ॐ शान्ति, ॐ शान्ति, ॐ शान्ति, ॐ शान्ति, ॐ शान्ति, ॐ शान्ति। प्रेम से बोल गजानन स्वामी की, उमापति महादेव की, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की, भवानी शंकर माता की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की, सुदामा मंदिर की, सुदामा मंदिर की, सुदामा मंदिर की। नमो पार्वते पतये हर हर महादेव। जय जय सीताराम सबको। आसन लीजिए। Thank you so much for your participation tonight. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Puja begins a little bit earlier than that. But from 9 to 11 tomorrow, final session of this beautiful Ramayan Yagya. Once again, our beautiful musicians, thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. You all are amazing. New York's finest, I must say.
And we look forward to continuing tomorrow in our session of devotion. And please join with us for more singing, more chanting, and the glories of Bhagwan Shri Ram. Prem se bolo Badiara Purushottam Bhagwan Ramachandra ki Jai. Jai Jai Sita Ram Sabkoi. And to all of the viewers tonight, the listeners on Bhakti TV, I say to you pranams. Thank you for staying up with us. And the Satyanand Maharaj, thank you for broadcasting us all over the world. And to all of you joining on our social media platforms, thank you. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Jai Jai Sita Ram.